It, it's a bit somehow it's a bit difficult to answer to that question because there are so many ways to do dietas, and it's like every maestro and maestra have their different ways, and so it's like when I started working with Dieta, I thought that what I was doing was kind of the only way, and I thought that all the other ways were just like not proper. But actually, the more I you know walk with the path, I realized that there are as many ways as there are maestros, and even there are as many ways as there are types of Dieta as well, because you have healing dietas, you have alignment dietas, you have learning dietas, and they have different kind of requirements, and they definitely and there are dietas given to Western people, and there are dietas given to indigenous people or to Peruvian people, because we have different mind, we have different story, we have different kind of situation that we come to work with. So even like the dietas that I'm receiving now on this path of learning, um, still are very much adapted to the fact that I'm a Western woman, um, because I have to be prepared, for that. And Maestro Jose is has been, leading me deeper and deeper into a traditional way of working with Dieta. Um, and yet I wish to go even deeper, but is really guiding me, according to how ready I am to, take on different certain kind of things. So I think that definitely, something that is valuable for every maestros, every cleanse, and every dieter is trust and faith. Is first of all finding someone to work with that really awakens that trust and that faith. It's very important in this kind of work, um, because it's so powerful to be working with someone that you can sense the through nature of their heart and the intention, um, and someone that has a you know the heart put in the right place is going to be a good guide, that will take care of you, and definitely trust and faith in oneself more than anything, and in the process, and in the plans, and as they say, it's like trust and faith really means patience as well. So it's being able to be patient with the process, as Western people, we are used for things to be really instantaneous. Um, we're so used to work with pills, to remove a headache, or things to be turned on just by pushing on a button, and so we kind of lost the rhythm, of letting things happen in the right timing. And one thing that is very very important is the work with the mind, and that obviously really enters in that trust and faith is it's like, as they say, it's like having one line of thoughts, which is where we want to be. So entering in a dieta, or even entering in a medicine ceremony, whether it's with master plant or not, is they say, like, the moment that you drink the glass, you need to have one line of thought and stay there. That's how the purification comes. Because it's like within a dieta or within a medicine ceremonies will appear the energies that we actually want to heal and we want to get free from. Whether it's a thought pattern, whether it's an emotion, whether it's an energy, whether there are things that come, from past generation and so on. trauma, fear, um, and if we maintain our attention on the place where we want to be, then we stop feeding all of things, and then we allow the plant to work. And that's something that is really important, is to surrender to the plant, surrender to the work. Um, we often tend to think that we have to work, we have to do something. And what I personally came to understand is that I don't actually have to do much. My part of the work is to focus my attention where I want to be. The plants are the ones that are working, and I don't need to understand what they are doing. I don't need to. I don't even need to know what they are healing. I don't even need to know what traumas I had, or what traumas created the feeling that I'm having, or the situation I'm in. What matters is that that's been healed. I had a teacher that when I was under walking the right path and some wachuma, when I was doing Quechua ceremonies from the Andes, that were ceremonies that were using different kind of things, to cleanse ourselves before the ceremony. And the first thing that he would give us a candle, and we had to, cleanse like if we were using a soap. And so he would lit the candle and read the flame, and so he would just take a moment to read it, and he would always ask after a while, do you want to know what I'm saying in the flame? And obviously the people who were there for the first time would always say yes. And he said, well, you have to choose. Either I heal you or I tell you what you have. I can't do both. And it's like when we try to work too much, when we try to understand too much, is first of all we interfere in the work, because it's like we don't know any better than the plants. We've been trying, like for so long to sort ourselves out, and we haven't been able to. So that's why we come to the plant. So let the plant do the work. And by trying to figure things out with the mind, we are holding on to the things, and it's harder for the plant to do the work. Trust and faith, so in the sense that whenever we doubt, whether we doubt ourselves or we doubt the process or we doubt the plants, they tend to go away. If I come to you and to ask you to help me with something you're good at, and I constantly doubt, whether you're going to be able to help me with that, at some point you're going to get bored, and you're just going to say, well, whatever, I'm going somewhere else. The plants are like that, and somehow they have maybe a bit less patience, that you would have with me, because they are not from a human world, so they have a different it's difficult to even just kind of use words that are human related, but I say they may have a little different quality of tolerance and of patience, and it's like when we enter into the house of the plant, it's really good to understand that we enter into their house. They are the queen of the house. They make the rules, and what they have to share, healing and teaching, is so incredibly valuable. It's sacred to a level that is very difficult to grasp and to understand. It's like we are really entering into the world of the spirit. And the same thing, and especially think especially for Western people, because we come from such an history of we go somewhere, we want something, and we take it. The same way that we have done when we came here, with the gold and with all the resources, and the same we do with spirit, with the knowledge and with the medicine. So when we enter into that house, it helps to remember that we don't know nothing, and that we are entering into a world that we really don't understand, and it's just kind of entering with the necessary humility to follow rules that sometimes we might not even understand. It might not make sense, but it doesn't have to make sense. We don't have to understand it, because we don't have to agree or disagree. It's just the way it is. So it's like as you were going to a old wise, hermit in the mountain in the Himalaya. It's the way they say. And that's the discipline that is required from someone that wants to learn. And whether we want to eat or we want to learn, it's always a learning. So it's like whenever we enter into that house, as they say, it's like the maestros and the maestras are there to help, and they're like our lawyers. So it's like they have a relation with the plants, and then when they give us a dieta, first of all they have a conversation with the plants, and they ask the permission to open the dieta for us, and they really talk on behalf of us. They make themselves responsible for us, and so if we make a mistake, they are the first one that will be told off by the plant. So it's all that relation of humility and acknowledging that we just really don't know anything, and surrendering, fully to that world, that we understand.